Hi everyone, my name is Amira, as you can see here, and I'm going to present about understanding gene editing benefits, risks, and the role of the technology itself. So let's go through what is the gene editing. So it is technology used to modify the DNA in the living organisms, which scientists can add, remove, or change the genetic materials. As we can see here, this part, uh, this is the DNA strand. Okay, you can see it there. So it is usually used in the medicine, agriculture, and also biotechnology. For example, to treat disease and also genetically modify crops. Usually, crops you use in the agriculture part, and insulin production, disease treatment, and insulin production actually in the same field, where is in the medical part lah. So, role of the technology in the gene editing, which technology helps to detect these genetic problems, modify DNA more accurately, improve food production, where I said just now to improve the crops, and then produce medicines such as insulins and support medical research as well lah. And when it comes to this technology, it's always back to the scientist itself. So, and what the technology involves, like I said, biotechnology and genetic engineering. Actually, biotechnology and genetic engineering is the same thing, but that one biotechnology is the wide and broad topic itself. So what it is genetic engineering, where we have GMOs and also CRISPR. So in GMO, there's lots of technology being used. One of it is CRISPR, yeah, CRISPR. Okay, what is CRISPR? It is a modern gene editing tools. Functions like genetic scissors, as you can see it here. It's like a bayangan. You can see it there. We can cut and modify DNA accurately, faster, cheaper, and more precise compared to the older methods. If you can Google it, what the older method they use is usually time consuming lah. This CRISPR is the modern one they use to cut the DNA. Okay, so it is also used in the medical treatment research, agriculture, and genetic disease studies, like I've been mentioned earlier. Okay, so look further into the advantages of the gene editing. So, like I said before, it is used in the medical and the agriculture. So, in the medicals, it's have a potential to treat for genetic disease, as we all know. So, genetic disease is really lots of in, for example, cancers like that. So, in the insulin production and improve the healthcare research, and also back to the scientists again. So in agriculture, so we want to produce the higher crop production, pest resistant crops, and improve food qualities, because we want something we have is in a good quality from the farm to the table itself. So this is where the main core of agriculture is lah. We have use of the gene editing, because if you look back, the issues is there where the crop is got diseases from the past and easily not growth very well lah. So that is why we use this gene editing to have this pest resistance and highly crop productions. So the advantages of this gene editing is, yeah, it's also raises lots of ethicals, and we don't know about the health and safety itself, environment and social ethical, where we have this kind of question: modifying living organism, playing around with the natures and moral and religious concern itself. So it is also very concerned like this is the disadvantages of it. So health and safety, we don't know the long term effect and possible health risk been happen, because we're playing with the nature, we're playing with the genes, and if this kind of things happen in the animals, we don't know how it will be effect in the long term. This kind of things will make it gene editing look bad. It's not really bad, but it is what it is. So environmental, it will give the impact on the biodiversity and ecosystem imbalance. So when this gene editing happen, especially in the livestock, in the agriculture, where we have this kind of produce livestock that modified, the gene has been modified, we have this, we don't know the long-term effect of this kind of, and these kinds of species, and then if it will inherit pass to the generations, we don't know the effect, long-term effect, and possible health risk will be occur. So this will be kind of impact the biodiversity and ecosystem imbalance, where it produce some kind of waste, you see. If to the animal is, yes, we can say it's like something can be wasted, yeah. So we produce something and then it is not effective, then it's kind of things of, yeah, it is it is useful or not, something like that lah, going to affect the ecosystem imbalance and the biodiversity itself. So what happened? It will lead to the misinformation to the society and the public trust issue lah. So we don't know, because gene editing is a good thing, but in the end, if this kind of controversials occur happens, and there is rise of the public trust itself, there is an issue where I will I will share with you guys later. So this is we go for the ethical issues and decision making. Looking into these ethical principles, so we got four principles that we all know: benefit, non-maleficence, autonomy, and consume justice. So these benefits is for improving, like it's such as in the agriculture, as you can see, this gene editing will give the good impact where improve in the health treatment and then and high yield in crops and also can treat this genetic disease lah. And then non-maleficence avoiding harm, health and risk, as we discussed earlier, where this kind of disadvantages where we don't want this kind of things giving harm to the society, and there is yeah, where we want to avoid it. Now, we know there's gene editing, there is side effect of it, and we don't know, and we want to avoid it, and we want to uh, take a look at it. So autonomy, where the consumer have right to know and choose. So, for example, we as a consumer we have the right to know if we want to we want to consume the GMO product or not. So we have right to know and right to choose. Okay, the justice is fair access to the technology. Yes, it is. It is the technology. It is fair access to the widely used. Actually, gene editing benefits to uh, the stakeholders, like in the industries itself, in the agricultures. There's the stakeholder that is used for. So we have this kind of fair access to the technology, and then it is a benefits to the society. That's kind of thing that we want to see lah. So different perspectives, as I mentioned before, the scientists want something an advancement. Where's their issue rise, they want something advancement, improvement that need to do. So in the public, the safety is the concern, and the government regulations and control, they need to regulate and control what we are doing, and then regulate religious and the authorities at the moral considerations because as you see this gene editing, it's quite controversial because we are playing with the natures and we're playing with the living organism, so we have to follow these kinds of the regulations that been established by the government and also the authority itself. So we won't be violate the regulations kan. So what the connections between the science, technology, and society in these genes editing? So looking back, this science, we have to understand the genes and the DNA itself, the concept, how it's happened, and then the technology is there is to treat some disease, to treat some want something productions yield productions of crops. So there is a technology CRSPRs use and the biotechnology tools use. So what happened to the society itself? It's rises ethical concern, health and environmental impact, and public perceptions lah. There's this three is always related to each other. So actually, there's one thing. E is stands for environment. Is supposed to be. So what happened is there. Okay, we also have a look on the health and environmental effect itself. Yeah, it's always related to each other. So back again, because this is STSE in education. So what it is role as a science teacher? STSE is kind of a tools of teachings. I could say like that because it's one kind of pedagogy where we as a teacher need to guide the student to evaluate informations critically, and where this I could say there's a topic in science, maybe we want them to know the real world issue and then bring in the class, but we want that student to evaluate the information critically and encourage them to discuss from multiple perspectives, because in the end of the world in the end of this things, and we want something benefits to the students, and also the develop in scientific literacy of the students and help students to make informed decisions lah, to create and also create awareness about ethical issues in science. Yeah, yeah, this one, because in the end of this reflections about STSE in educations, we always want the student have this make informed decision making and develop their scientific literacy, and also they are able to evaluate information critically and see lots of things from multiple perspectives, so it can arise awareness in them about the ethical issues in the science itself, because there is a good things and there's a bad things. There's where the student have to think whether this is good or not for them or pursue. Okay, so conclusion, as a conclusion, so gene editing provide many benefits, but also raise ethical concerns. Technology plays an important role in scientific advancement, and society must balance scientific progress with ethic and responsibility. STSA education helps students become responsible in decision making. Yeah. Yes, like I said before, this STSE education helps students become responsible in decision making. So yeah, look a bit into examples of CRSPR that raise controversials. I will briefly tell you what happened is the in the He Jianko case in 2018, where the doctor want to treat these patients that have HIV, but through the identical twins, where he want to treat this. The father have HIV, and he injected this HIV into this baby through the IVF. So this is the first case of CRSPR baby lah, do at the human. So this raised controversy because it happened to be in the human. We don't know the side effect happen to it long term, because when we do genetic modified in human, we also, this kind of genetic will pass down to the generations. So this Hijinka case passed by international bioethics guidelines, demonstrating that the barrier of germline editing is no longer as technological, but it's a ethical concern. So I think that's it's all from me. Thank you very much.